As Labour's internal machinery collapses and resignations cascade through regional offices, the larger threat now looms: national paralysis. With Parliament gridlocked and the leader of the opposition in disgrace, the government faces paralysis. At a time when Britain desperately needs unity, allies have turned silent, the press is relentless, and Keir Starmer, once the symbol of Labour renewal, has become a lightning rod for everything the public now despises about Westminster. Behind closed doors, senior civil servants are preparing for constitutional contingencies not seen since the post-war era. Emergency meetings are reportedly being held in Whitehall, where legal advisors and constitutional scholars debate whether the Crown or Speaker of the House might intervene should Starmer refuse to step down. Meanwhile, Reform UK and Tory backbenchers are demanding an emergency general election to restore public trust through the ballot box. Union support has collapsed entirely. Unite the Union has frozen all financial transfers, and the GMB issued a stinging condemnation. We do not bankroll deception. Labour's electoral machine, long fueled by union support and grassroots door-knocking, now stands idle. In marginal seats across the North and Midlands, local campaign offices have shuttered. Volunteers have refused to work under Starmer's name, and petitions for a new leader are gaining momentum, with tens of thousands of former supporters joining online calls to clean house. The crisis has also exposed deeper fractures within the party. Momentum, the socialist grassroots faction, has declared full rebellion, openly calling for a breakaway party unless Starmer resigns immediately. This is no longer reformable. Read their statement. The rot is at the top. In a rare televised interview, a visibly shaken former Labour grandee said, "This isn't just a scandal, it's a funeral for the modern Labour movement." If you're finding this breakdown as shocking as we are, make sure to subscribe, because this story is developing rapidly and you won't want to miss what happens next. Rumors of a caretaker cabinet led by Lisa Nandy have gained traction, with whispers of a potential leadership pact between centrist MPs and what remains of the party's old left flank. While the Labour Party implodes, the Conservative government is using the moment to consolidate its position. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's office has begun drafting new transparency legislation, promising to clean up politics in what many see as an opportunistic pivot. Still, even the Tories tread cautiously as polls show faith in all mainstream parties has cratered. Internationally, headlines have turned grim. Collapse of British Labour read one cover in Le Monde. Brussels officials, once hopeful of Labour-led trade negotiations, are now distancing themselves, fearing backlash over the leaked EU meetings and undeclared gifts tied to post-Brexit talks. Yet perhaps the most haunting development is the silence. Starmer has not spoken. No interviews, no statements, not even a tweet. That silence has become its own form of communication, interpreted as guilt by the public, betrayal by the party, and weakness by his opponents. In the vacuum, conspiracy theories and misinformation have flourished, fueling a chaotic digital battlefield where political legitimacy is now openly questioned. Time is running out. Sources close to the Speaker of the House say cross-party talks are quietly taking place to discuss continuity of government should Labour's implosion halt the legislative process. Legal experts warn that failure to resolve this crisis within weeks could lead to a constitutional emergency requiring royal or judicial intervention. At stake is more than one man's career. What began as a single scandal involving £4 million and a trail of undeclared influence has detonated the credibility of Britain's second-largest political force. Labour, once poised to retake power, now faces the abyss. For Starmer, the road narrows. With public trust shattered, party support withdrawn, and legal threats mounting, his options are limited. Resign and attempt to preserve what remains of the Labour institution, or cling to power and risk dragging it all down with him. Either way, history will remember this moment. The fall of Starmer is no longer just political theatre, it is a defining crisis for British democracy itself.